The AMP order recommendation screen offers a multitude of different functionalities. It can be used to review the AMP planning generation's order recommendations, create purchase orders, purchase requests, purchase quotations, inventory transfer requests, production orders, and it'll allow you to view the various documents created. To display the AMP order recommendation screen, navigate to MRP AMP order recommendations. The AMP order recommendations will be available after planning has been generated with the AMP planning generation module. Planning must be generated prior in order for the AMP order recommendations window to update. In the header portion of the AMP order recommendation screen are various different filters that will refine the results displayed in the window. If you make any changes to the filters, you must click the refresh button at the bottom right of the window to view the changes. The first field in the header is the supply type drop-down box. You can select either all supply types, purchase orders, purchase quotations, purchase requests, production orders, transfer order requests, or fandom items from the drop-down selection. Following that is the item group field, which will let you select a specific item group from a list of item groups, or you can select all to view all the item groups. You can select a specific order interval from the list, or select all for all order intervals in the order interval field. The vendor field will allow you to filter the results down to a single vendor. In the starting order by date field, you can enter the beginning order by date that you want to create order recommendations for. Then you can enter the ending order by date that you want to generate order recommendations through in the through order by date field. Note, the default date is based upon order recommendation number days field in the planning generation screen and will be initially displayed in this field. If you want to view the data for a specific warehouse or all of your warehouses, you can do so in the warehouse field. The planner field will allow you to select a specific planner from the list of users in SAP, or you can select all to view all of the planners. The source warehouse field gives you the ability to specify a specific source warehouse from the list, or you can select all in order to view all of the source warehouses. In the item field, you can specify a specific item from the list to display, or you can leave the field blank in order to view all of the items. The Sort By drop-down box will give you the option to sort the table by vendor, item, item description, order by date, warehouse, or source warehouse. Finally, the Additional Details checkbox, when checked, will display additional column detail information, like the economic order quantity, on-hand quantity, on-order quantity, average monthly usage, minimum inventory level, and the maximum inventory level. Note, since the Manage Inventory by Warehouse checkbox is checked for all items using AMP, the quantities displayed will be based on the item's specific warehouse on the recommendation row. With all of the header information out of the way, we can move on to the column detail fields. The first column displays the various checkbox fields. If the checkbox is checked, then the corresponding supply document will be created when the Create button is selected. The supply type column indicates what the recommended supply type is, and this can also be changed from one supply type to another. If you select a different supply type from the drop-down menu, then in order to save your changes, you must click the Update button. The warehouse column indicates which warehouse the supply order will be created for. This can also be changed using the drop-down menu, and if changes are made, you must click the Update button again to save your changes. The item column will display the corresponding item that the supply document will be created for, and following the item is its description in the description column. The due date column is the due date that the supply is being recommended for, and this can be changed as desired. The order by date column represents the date that the order should be created to meet the demand based on the lead time. Quantity required is the recommended quantity of the supply document. The economic order quantity column will display the quantity entered in the item master user-defined field that you determine to be the economic order quantity. The Use Minimum checkbox will be checked if the item has a minimum order quantity set in the item master. When checked, the minimum order quantity will be applied to quantities when creating supply documents. You can uncheck the box if you do not want to apply the order minimums. Following that is the order minimum column, which will display the order minimum from the Item Master Planning Data tab, or the Warehouse Minimum field. If both fields contain data, AMP will always use the data on the Inventory Data tab over any other tab on the Item Master. This field is only for reference and does not affect the calculations for quantity required. The Use Multiple checkbox will have a check if the item has an Order Multiple quantity set in the Item Master. When it is checked, the Order Multiple quantity will be applied to quantities when creating supply documents. If you uncheck the checkbox, the order multiples will not be applied, and the order multiple column is for reference only and does not affect the calculation of quantity required. It will display the order multiple from the Item Master Planning Data tab, or the Warehouse Order Multiple field. On-hand quantity will display the quantity on hand for a specific warehouse or in total, depending upon your Manage Inventory by Warehouse settings. The On-Order Quantity column displays the quantity ordered on purchase orders, purchase requests, inventory transfer requests, AP reserve invoices, production disassembly bill of materials, production byproducts, production orders for a specific warehouse, or in total depending upon the Manage Inventory by Warehouse setting. The Average Monthly Usage column will display the average usage per number of months specified in the Number of Months Average to Display field on the Planning Generation screen. The Minimum Inventory Level column shows the minimum inventory level quantity for a specific warehouse or in total, depending upon your Manage Inventory by Warehouse setting. This field is for reference only and will not affect the calculations of quantity required. The Maximum Inventory Level column displays the maximum inventory level quantity for a specific warehouse or in total, depending upon your Manage Inventory by Warehouse setting as well. It is also for reference only and does not affect the calculation of quantity required. The Use Preferred Vendor checkbox, when checked, will use the preferred vendor from the Purchasing tab on the Item Master for the creation of purchasing documents. The Vendor column displays the vendor ID the purchase order, purchase quotation, or purchase request is being recommended for. The vendor displayed is the preferred vendor entered on the Purchasing Data tab on the Item Master. The vendor can be changed, and you can drill down into the Business Partner Master data using the golden arrow. The Vendor Name column just displays the corresponding vendor associated with the vendor ID. The Source Warehouse column will display the source warehouse from the Item Warehouse row on the Item Master, if it is present. This warehouse will be used to fulfill demand, and you can also select another warehouse from the dropdown. The Planner column shows the planner that is assigned to the recommended item. You can select a specific project from the selection list on the Project column, or you can leave it blank. If a project is selected, it will be transferred to the created document. The Document Number column will display the purchase order, purchase quotation, purchase request, inventory transfer, or production order number that was created for this recommendation. You can select the golden arrow to drill down into the document details. Following that is the Document Line column, which displays the document line number that was created for this recommendation. And finally, the last column is the Order Date, which shows you the date the document was created. Once you decide you want to create a supply document to add more inventory to your warehouse, click the checkbox near the beginning to select the corresponding supply document. With a supply document selected, you can click the Create button at the bottom to create the documents that are checked. Now, if we go to the created supply document, you will see that the quantity on the supply document will equal the quantity in the quantity required field. If we go back to the AMP order recommendation screen, refresh the window, and scroll all the way to the right, we will see the information that pertains to the supply document that was created. The AMP order recommendations window in LBSi's Advanced Manufacturing and Material Planning Enhancement can help make sure orders go out when they need to in order to keep inventory levels stable. Join us in future videos as we break down how LBSi's AMP module can help you improve your existing SAP Business One planning functionality. Be sure to click the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you never miss a new video. As an SAP Gold partner, LBSi can help you take full advantage of everything the system has to offer. To get in contact with us, visit our website at www.lbsi.com and navigate to the contact link. You can also email us at sales@lbsi.com for sales-related inquiries, or SAP support@lbsi.com if you're an existing client in need of support assistance.